Okay, so welcome back, everyone. In this video, in the previous video, we took a look at the overall summary of the grades, card score grades compared to PSA, Beckett, SGC, and GMA, and how they were surprisingly close, and sometimes a little bit higher, sometimes a little bit lower. But overall, I was pretty impressed with the card score results. And so what we'll take a look at is a deeper dive, starting with that Zion Williamson PSA 10 that got a 93 from the card score graders there. And so starting with that Zion Williamson, let's take a closer look. So this is that same card, scanned with the same scanner, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Okay, and this is very analogous to the way Cardscore Scorers would be scoring those cards either on the app or on the browser, as they take a look at each card and provide their assessment. So what I do is I zoom in and then sort of do a clockwise trip around the edges of the card, so you can sort of see maybe some dots missing from the edge of this one. Let's go in a little bit closer. So maybe some slight damage on the back, on the front left corner that you really can't see by the naked eye. And then up the side of it, looking for any dings or damage. Not seeing much. That corner looks okay. Top edge looks okay. That corner looks good. Down the edge. Overall, pretty straight edge. Ooh, a little something there on that edge, on the blue. Some dust on the chrome parts of the card. I think there's some sort of physical property of chrome where it attracts dust, because I wiped this card down. In any case, a little bit of damage here on the edge and a little bit of corner damage here as well. So you can sort of see how that was impacting my corner score and my edge score. Now along the bottom, some of that is covered by the PSA slab inner edge. Overall, you can sort of see the edge right in here. Not seeing a whole lot in the way of damage. Unfortunately, my scorers would have had to make a judgment call there, because they wouldn't be able to see the complete edge. So that may have impacted some of the scoring. Zooming back out to take a look at centering. That edge looks slightly larger than that edge, maybe. A little bit harder to tell the top in comparison to the top of where the image starts and the edge of the card, and sort of the same here. But I think that's longer. That edge is wider than that edge, which might explain some of the centering scores. And then in terms of the surface, some dust particles in here that might be actually in the slab. Could be actually also on the scanner. Good practice is always to wipe the scanner down with a microfiber before you do your scan. Be sure to remove any imperfections. And then those are cool shoes. Then when you do your raw card scan, of course, you prepare it like you would any other submission to a grading service, in terms of wiping the card down and being sure it's minus the dust. Okay, not seeing much in the terms of the surface, at least on that side. What we could do is take a look at the back side of the card, and maybe there was some surface damage here, but let's start with typically what I'll do is start with the corners, and zoom into the corner of the card to start off with. At least when I'm scoring cards, you can sort of see a little bit of weirdness going on in that corner. That likely impacted the grade. A little bit of hairs. scrolling up. Edge looks okay so far. A little speck of dust. That corner looks okay. Maybe some dings on that top edge. Something there. Some slight imperfections on that top edge. Another little piece of dust. That corner looks okay. Just a little bit rounded. That edge looks pretty straight. All the way down here, another stray hair. Another stray hair. Now that corner looks okay. Something weird right there on that bottom edge there, bottom rear. A little piece of, did I see some dust? Yeah, a little speck of dust. I guess all those dust specks may have also impacted the grade. The surface overall looks okay on the back. It's a black and white back, not a whole lot showing up. And then zooming out further in terms of centering, that side looks about the same as that side. From the number 258, that does look like more space in the bottom. That may have also impacted the centering score. But overall, PSA gave it a 10. My 50 peers at Cardscore.com gave it a 92 overall. I'm happy with that because once you zoom into it, I mean, you do see some slight imperfections there. Okay, up next is a LeBron James card that I sent in that got a BGS 9 and a Cardscore 93, and so that is this report sheet. And here's that card. Now, similar to before with that Zion card, what I did was I situated the card on the scanner such that the scoring label was like just off the edge, and so the scan started just below that label, and so the scorers on Cardscore.com never actually saw the grade, and so hopefully, the idea being that they graded it just as they would any other raw card, so I can get those results and compare them to the actual grade, which in this case was a Beckett 9, but a Cardscore 93. So let's take a look. Again, I like to zoom in and start at one of the bottom corners and work counterclockwise. So good corner here. Overall, the corners and the surface got the highest score. That corner looks good. A piece of dirt or dust that may be in the slab or on the card that likely impacted the surface score, unfortunately. But edge looks good so far. It's actually the first time I'm taking a look at this zoomed in, so we're looking at this together. Stray hair there. That corner looks okay. Some little weirdness there in terms of a scratch. That could be either on my. I did have the plastic sleeve off of this when I scanned it, but could be on the scanner, or could be on the Beckett slab, or could be underneath the Beckett slab and on the card. Same as that piece of stray dust here, but the corner looks good, and that edge looks good here. Again, a little straightness there. That corner looks okay. Scrolling across, a bit of a reflection caused by this is a red, white, and blue prism card, so there's going to be a little reflection often in prism cards. That's what you see here. Hopefully that didn't impact the score. Hopefully the scorers are sort of familiar with prism, and any chrome card that reflects the light of the scanner back onto the scan. Something going on there that I don't see by just looking at the card, so that could have impacted the surface score. Okay. And again, I found with these cards, the ones that I scan in, even though I wipe them and wipe them and wipe them, chrome must attract dust somehow. I am not entirely sure. A couple specks here and there. Because when I've scanned in my raw cards, my raw chrome, Topps chrome or prism, no matter how hard I try, there's always some specks. The other thing is prism cards. Hard to see one that's perfectly centered. So here you can see that that edge is larger than that edge. LeBron's head to the edge of the card is certainly smaller than from Lakers to the bottom. And you can sort of see that reflected in my score of 92, and probably the overall Beckett score of 9. Right, and taking a look at the back of the card here. Let's zoom in down into the corner. Okay, that corner might be a little soft. So yeah, maybe I'm in too far. I think that's more analogous to what scorers see on the app. All right, so that corner might be a little soft. Scrolling up, possibly a little tiny little ding there. Something going on there. A piece of dust here, although that corner looks okay. Maybe a little something right here on that purple in the back of the card, and in the purple and gray in here as well. That may have impacted the edge score. That corner looks good. Scrolling down, something there, another speck or two of dust. Some possibly a scratch. Is that in the card? Not sure. Can't really see that by just looking at it. But yeah, it does look like there's something in there. Could be on the slab itself. No, that could have definitely impacted the surface score. Scrolling on down, a good corner there, and clearing the edge. Let's see, with BGS and Becket cards, there is actually under the slab, the card itself is in a penny sleeve of some sort. So there's a few layers of plastic in between the scanner and the actual card itself. So not sure how that, or if that impacted the results. I mean, it does look pretty clear. So a few stray hairs and bits of dust. But overall, that card looks okay. Okay, so can't necessarily disagree with the overall score of a 93 as compared to a Beckett 9. See, up next is my 96 Fleer Michael Jordan. So this is the Decade of Excellence card, the one with the gold foil borders. And let's see, the score sheet for that is here, and here's the card itself, which I had sent to GMA and got a 10 on that. All right, let's see if I can come up with an angle where that's not, where the glare isn't as. I guess I can't. All right, well, you can see it on the scan here. All right, so got a GMA 10 on that. Cardscore thought more of a 93. Let's zoom in and find out why. Okay, see, ooh, bit of dust there. That's certainly not going to help my cause. Overall, corner looks sharp. Again, that gold foil must attract dust and hair. There's more dust, but the edge looks good. Corner looks okay. That sort of glare is from the scanner. That horizontal glare that we're seeing in parallel to the top edge of the card. A little lightness here, but the corner looks good. Some more stray dust that likely would have impacted the score. You can sort of see the surface score is actually the lowest score of all 4 categories here. All right, something there. Obviously a hair and a yellow dot. That does not look like dust. That looks like yellow, and you cannot see that by looking at the card. That looks like an imperfection. All right, that bottom edge looks okay. Let's take a look at centering between the gold and the edge. That looks pretty close to the gold and the edge on the right as well. Gold at the top edge, and gold at the bottom to bottom edge. Maybe a little bit more on the bottom. But overall, though, that's looks okay. And in terms of the surface, I mean, I do have some dust on here. Maybe that's in the slab. Could be on the scanner bed itself when I was scanning in. Again, it's important to be careful there and wipe the scanner down with that microfiber. And then here is a scan of the back of the card. And what we'll do is zoom in, just taking a look here, a quick look at centering. Centering looks okay all the way around. Maybe a little bit less on this side as compared to this side. Maybe a little bit more on the bottom as compared to the top. So that probably explains the 93. All right, and zooming in, that corner looks okay. Edge all the way up. Hopefully not blocked by this inner plastic. It looks okay. That top edge does not look blocked. That looks okay. That corner looks okay. On down the side, some specks of dust. Although dust is usually white. It shows up like white or really light gray. Those are black. I wonder what's in the card. Alright. And yeah, overall the back of the card looks okay. A little something there. That does not look like dust. That looks like it's actually in the card, but again, you can't see that unless you're zooming into it. Okay. So yeah, I would wish for a higher grade than 93, but overall can see some things going on there that would have impacted the score. Okay. My next example was a Patrick Mahomes, a 9.5 SGC Patrick Mahomes from 2017. That got a SGC 9.5, but a Cardscore 92. That's pretty close, I guess. What we'll do is zoom in a little bit closer and check that out. Okay, so zooming in. All right, I might be a little bit too far. There we go. Let's go a little closer. All right, so zooming in on black cards, black edges of cards, you can that always shows damage better than white cards. Sort of see a slight something going on in that corner and some slight stuff on the on that edge. This edge looks good. That corner looks good. This edge looks good. That corner looks good. And this edge looks good. That corner might have a little something going on there, which may be explaining why we only got a 91 for that category on the card score. And then zooming out a little bit, The surface got a 92. I'm not seeing much wrong with the surface. I mean, a little bit of dust here and there. Huh. Well, let's check the back. In terms of centering, I mean, this card doesn't have a whole lot in the way of landmarks for centering. At the top of the L and limited to the top of the card. About the same as from Mahomes to the bottom of the card. Looks like more space from the beginning of the leaf to the edge as compared to the K to the edge. So that may have impacted the centering a bit. And then looking at the back of the card and zooming in. Okay, can definitely see why the corner score of 91 is justified and the edge score of 90 justified as well, because there's damage on, you can sort of see on both edges on the back here. A little bit going on there. Oh, and there as well. That you just don't see unless you're zooming in. I wonder if that's a fingerprint and if that's on the slab or the scanner bed. That wouldn't have been good. More damage across the top edge. Something a little on the corner there, and then down the edge as well. That corner and that edge as well. Oh, and all along this bottom edge. Okay, so yeah, I can see an edge of 90. I can see why this card got a 90 for that edge. Now, in terms of the surface, I thought the surface looked okay. Maybe that fingerprint probably didn't do me any favors. That right there. But okay, from the corners and edges alone, I can see why I got a 92. All right, and my fifth and final example, at least for this video, is another Patrick Mahomes. All right, also from SGC. Now SGC gave it an 8. Now our Cardscore graders gave it more of a 92, so more of a 9 than an 8. So let's zoom in and see if we could see why. All right, that corner looks good. Again, a little fuzziness on the edge of the card. Does not look like damage though. Alright, that edge looks nice and sharp. A little bit of dust in the chrome of the card. A little bit slightly, how did my cornering do? Corners number 90, I could see possibly some rounding there. The edge has got a 91. You can sort of see some glare of the scanner that you typically get with the pieces or the chrome bits on cards, as well as all chrome cards. Lots of reflections. Okay, some rounding there on that corner. A little bit of weirdness going on this edge. Some damage there. That looks like just a hair. The white of the card probably hides it better. Oh, and something going on here in the corner. Okay, I can see why the corner only got a 90. Alright, that edge is a little blurry. I wonder if that's in the scan because the tuxedo portion of the SGC slab looks like it's in focus. Okay. Alright, so taking a look at the centering. I mean, there's not a border to go by, but the T in Prestige to the top, Mahomes to the bottom, the second to the edge. to the T in Texas Tech. I mean, that amount of space looks larger than that amount of space does. Though overall, the centering was the highest score on this. I got a 94 actually. All right, but we can see some edge and some corner issues on this card. All right, though even with those edge and corner issues, you really can't see it at all without zooming in. All right, and so let's go ahead and zoom in down to the bottom corner. Yeah, a little bit of rounding here, so you can sort of see how SGC graders would have interpreted that as an 8, though our folks it looked like my 50 peers felt more like a 90. Edge looks good. I wonder if that's a hair. Alright, maybe not. I wonder if that's in that line right there is in the slab, which could have impacted the surface score. Because other than that, I mean, just taking a look at what we've seen so far, the edge looks okay. Maybe something along that top. That corner looked okay. That corner looks okay. How was this one? That corner maybe a little rounding. Okay. And again, we're not entirely sure what the. I suppose we can do some research and find out exactly how SGC grades their cards. But whatever the formula, those corners likely would have impacted the score, of course. There's something here. That's kind of weird. And some imperfections on the edge as we scroll down. And what is that? That looks like a tiny bit of the SGC holder sticking out and over the top of the card, at least from what I can tell. That could also be an anomaly that would have thrown off the graders and possibly had them make a judgment call. Okay. All right. And in terms of centering, it looks okay. Edge of the 8 to that edge. Edge of Panini to this edge, maybe a little bit more on the left than the right. Vertically between printed in the USA and the bottom edge, and number and the top edge, that looks pretty close. Okay, but overall, at least that's the results of this set of examples. Overall, I'm pretty impressed with our Cardscore graders. Within a point of the professional graders who do it for a living. So we'll see where Cardscore 92, 93s are sort of creeping into PSA 10, BGS 9, GMA 10, SGC 9.5 sorts of categories. And so as we're looking at Cardscore cards, high 90s and into those low 90s look like they're look like on the as you look at them going to be pretty decent cards, where you have to zoom in with some technology to see the imperfections. So anyway, that's an example of the first 5 cards that I did this little experiment with. What we can do next is take a look at the second 5.